Hi. It's later on in the 12th here, or the 15th, 15th of March. But I'm watching YouTube on the laptop here. I'm watching this thing, NBA Legends explain why the NBA is dead. And, they're talking about its money, its marketing, it's the fact that guys aren't beating each other up anymore, the no touchy rules or whatever. Um, I think it's more the perception of the fan, the way the fan looks at the players. You think, like Steph Curry, for instance. Like I say, these guys, they don't even shoot 50%, man. That means they're missing more than half the shots they shoot. If they were bowlers, you would not say that they were good. You would say that they suck. Making 4 of 10 is not good. Not in basketball, not in bowling. You know, not really in anything. I mean, and it's your perception of them. I mean, I remember when people first started talking to me about the Splash Brothers. I'm shooting 66% behind the college three, and I'm playing outside, and when I'm going to the library and talking with all these other sports guys, they always ask me about what I was doing outside, uh, and yeah, and then they started telling me about Golden State and that. And I had never seen them because, like, these guys. I mean, I stopped watching the NBA. I stopped watching the NBA after the Lakers. Basically, first they beat up Allen Iverson, which, I mean, I think they played the Lakers as good as they could, and Iverson I thought was amazing in that series. Um, and then when they played the Pacers and they were playing, over the hill, uh, Reggie Miller and Rick Smits. I mean, yeah, they weren't playing the '90s Miller and Smits. They were playing 2003, I think it was, when they played them. And yeah, I mean, it was a great series and stuff. But I mean, Kobe and Shaq were in what you would say the prime of their whole deal, where Reggie and Rick Smits were, and Mark Jackson, they were basically on their way out. So it was like kind of like the old guard playing the new guard, and you know it wasn't working that well. Though I mean, they played. I mean, it was a great series, but it was basically the last. Well, I mean, I always watch the finals because, I mean, you basically always know who's going to be there. There's usually only 4 or 5 good teams in the NBA. You can pretty much guess who the last two teams will be. But yeah, I think the Miami one, where Mr. Smooth took over when Dwayne Wade came into the world, uh, and Shaq was tagging along. Uh, but that, I mean, as far as watching the NBA with any consistency, things started changing. The Spurs and the Pistons of their early millennium, just like Shaq and Kobe, that was all fun to watch. Uh, but it eventually got, I mean, as far as watching the everyday games, too much started changing. The players, and people could go back and say, oh, well, Allen Iverson was like the first guy who was really just, I'm doing it my way and I don't care what you think. And see, and then Shaq and Kobe and all the rest of these guys, LeBron, they all just kind of followed that Iverson attitude, you know. And it's carried through. I mean, it's still around, you know. It's kind of like it's kind of like the guy that played for, was it North Carolina or Duke? Williamson, I think that was. I mean, he plays on the Pelicans. I mean, he came into the NBA. He was supposed to be this great thing, and I kept talking about things that he was doing that I was going, you know, this is not going to be a good thing for you. And yeah, sure enough, 2 years in, his career has never been the same since he got injured. And that's like I was talking about Victor. If he's not careful, the same thing's going to happen to him. You got to play within what you are. It's great that you could do things that aren't normal for the stature of a person like you, but it's not normal for a reason. And as far as like these guys with the NBA is dead, yeah, it's dead for a lot of different reasons. It's kind of like when I first started shooting threes behind the NBA three line, and the first people I ever talked to about any of this was the NBA itself. I sent them a DVD of me doing my three drill, and I was going, this is what you should be doing on All-Star Weekend. You should be doing this three drill. It's just 14 shots, and they don't have to shoot the rebounds. Just go from the one shot to the other and do the 14 shots and see how many you can make without sitting at the same place with a rack of balls. And I mean, I did 5 shots like that with my back to the basket, just turning around and grabbing a ball. It's using the same ball, but I mean, shooting it from the corner with my back to the basket, taking a bounce, turning around and shooting it. I mean, it's not that hard. So standing with a rack of balls next to you, it's not much difficulty in that. Especially once you get into a rhythm. But moving from spot to spot, you're never going to be in the same spot. It'll never feel exactly the same as it did the last time. And it shows more because you're shooting all around the perimeter of the three thing. I mean, and yes, they're doing it with the 5 racks, but you know, it's not the same. And now they added that 4-point, you know, because of the big three thing that what's his name is doing. You know, and he's got that 4-point shot. So now they added that into the NBA three thing, which I was going, you know, make them actually do something. It's just like why no one will do my 4-3 drill and put it on my site or send me an email of it, you know, to show what they did with it or couldn't do with it. And it's because, yeah, you know, yeah, you watch me do it, but you try doing it, I can guarantee you're not doing it like I am. But, you know, when I showed it to the NBA, yeah, they didn't want to do it. They wanted to just add more colored balls and, you know. And I was telling them, you know, doing what you're doing only says how bad the people that are shooting in these contests are because you're giving them all these advantages. I mean, you should be taking away the advantages if you want to show how great they are. And that's why I was offering the 14-shot drill change because, yes, this is different. It's not something that they've ever practiced, and I'll bet even goofballs don't even try it even now. But either way, like I said, the NBA was the only people that ever acknowledged it. You know, and they were going, no, we're not, you know, we're not interested. And it wasn't like I was going, oh yeah, pay me $1 million to use my drill. I was just going, you know, back in the 80s and the 90s, the three was more of a bailout. It wasn't something you were shooting 1 million of them. Teams weren't shooting 15, 20 threes in a game. That didn't start until 2005 or later. I mean, and I don't really think it started until Kerr started playing 3-ball. When he got the Warriors to play 3-ball. You know. And yeah, now it's just an open floor game where it's more this Ole defense, and yeah, they're just shooting up. I mean, if they can't hit 45% from inside the 3-point line, What makes you think they're going to shoot better behind it? I mean, if they suck shooting inside the 3-point line, trust me, they're going to suck even more shooting farther away. All you're going to have is a lot of long rebounds and guys running to the other end. And instead of taking the easy layup sometimes, they just stop and try and shoot the three, which I watched some guys do that in a college game yesterday, and I was just laughing going, why would you do that? You got the numbers and the easy 2 points. Why do you stop at the 3 line and then come up empty? I mean, you didn't even get the rebound on the miss. The other team did, and they're probably going, "Thank you for being so dumb, taking that shot when you had an easy 2 points." But like you say, it's the way people think offensively. They don't. They're not offensive minded. That's another problem with it. And yeah, I was listening to B.J. Armstrong. There's no creativity. And it's true. There is no, it's like I say, the most consistent thing about NBA players is their inconsistency. That's the most consistent thing about them, is them being inconsistent. It's like watching Wisconsin and Michigan yesterday. Wisconsin hits all these threes in the beginning of the game, and they're winning, and then all of a sudden they can't, they're 0 for 14 or something. It's like, yeah, you see, you're streak shooters, which is what the NBA is. That's what I try to show, like with my hot shot tournament. That's what I'm trying to show you right now, is how, yeah, see, what I'm going to do isn't like a sometimes thing. It's like every quarter, every drill I do is going to be at a level. It's not once in a while I do this. There's no streaking. That's why I made the 4-3 drill. Like I used to tell Curry, you can't streak shoot your way through the 4-3 drill. There's 56 threes. You can't streak shoot your way through it. It's going to call, the drill itself will call you out. In your endurance and the mental fatigue that it's going to draw on you, because the more you miss and the longer that you realize it's taken, yeah, this starts getting worked on. That's the other aggravating thing about it. That's why I say, most people I've ever had try and do it, they don't do more than one drill because they're already pulling their hair out by the time they get through it. But anyway, I was just watching this thing and I was thinking, yeah, see, that's really why there's no... It's too much about me than it is about the team. And it's all about look at me and, can I one up the guy? This guy makes a slam dunk like this. I got to make one like that. The center made a 3. Now I'm the other center. Now I've got to make a 3. It's just this individual. They say there is no combativeness between the players, but I don't believe that. I think their egos are way out in front of them. There are all kinds of battles going on. That's why they sit there on Twitter and on this social media crap talking all the time. It's kind of like that movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner when the dude is, he hears that Costner gets the number 1 pick, and so he figures he's going to go after the quarterback, and so he starts babbling on social media about, oh, these guys are idiots, and blah, 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 blah. And, like if he already, like he knows what these guys are thinking, he's got no idea, and yet he's flapping his gums about crap he knows nothing about, other than that they switch with those guys to get the number 1 pick, but didn't say what they were going to do with it. So yeah, and that's pretty much how your athletes today are. They're always yapping about crap they don't know anything about. And it's just, and that's what makes the NBA boring, is all that. Stop yapping on social media and put your mouth out there on that basketball court. You got something to say, put it up, dude. You know, you want to shut up the critics? Well, there's only one way to do that. It's just like I say with my 3 drill. I mean, you know, people go, "Oh, aren't you afraid of challenging everybody?" Why? I'm actually doing what I'm doing. It's not make believe. You know, and the challenge to other people, it's not to show them up, or I'm hoping that there is somebody who can do it better than me, but I haven't found anybody. That's what I'm looking for. I'm hoping to find someone, but not happening. But anyway, like you say, I just thought it was funny watching these guys, Barkley and them, talking about it. And yeah, it is. I mean, but I don't think it has to do with rivalry so much as it has to do with just too much Ole defense and too much of this one-upping thing. More, it's as much as they say it's a team thing. It's about you. I mean, it's no different than like college players have to get paid now. Everybody's got to get their piece of the pie, you know. But you know, it's your world that has allowed things to get out of hand. See, the only reason the college players and them want their piece of the pie is because the pie has gotten so huge. Back in the '60s, I mean, like when I first saw Lou Alcindor, I mean, it was midnight. That's when they were showing the UCLA game. And, you know, they were playing. And the only reason I saw UCLA was because they were playing Notre Dame. And I didn't really watch basketball at the time. I just happened to turn on the TV and saw this guy doing something I'd never seen anybody do before. I mean, you know, yeah, you had Wilt and Russell and those guys around in the NBA, but even NBA games, you didn't really see. You heard it on the radio. If you could get, you know, the Bulls game on the radio, you might hear them playing the Lakers or playing the 76ers or playing Boston, but, you know, they weren't on TV. So first time I saw Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I was just, I mean, that's who I wanted to be. Even though at the time I was trying to be Sandy Koufax. But yeah, as far as when I saw that, I wanted to be Kareem. I wanted to shoot skyhooks. And that's why I still do, because it's what got me here. I thank my health and well-being to John Wooden and Lou Alcindor, because had I never crossed that path, I wouldn't still be playing basketball 60 years later. Well, it hasn't been quite 60. I was 12 when I saw Lou Alcindor. So, 58 years. But anyway, yeah, that's, I mean, you know, the boringness of the NBA, yeah, it is a lot of just going up and down, and it's more because they're shooting the threes, a lot of front rimming or back rimming, which makes long rebounds and just makes you go running up and down the court. And your shooting percentages are no better than they are when you're inside the three, so yeah, there's going to be a lot of misses. And so you're just going to do a lot of this. And yeah, it's boring. Because you're not trying to break down the defense. The only time a guard really tries to break down the defense is when he feels he has the advantage. He doesn't do it like a constant attack. I mean, in the old days, guys like Isaiah Thomas and those guys, they constantly were coming at you. They were constantly dribbling around trying to find some way to weasel through you. And, I mean, doesn't necessarily mean they were going to try and make the shot, but they were going to draw the defense so they could give it to somebody else to do something with. But there was a lot of that, a lot of chess playing on the floor. Where now there's no chess playing at all. It's just freewheeling it. It's just, yeah, people are just going crazy, and the centers don't play centers. There's no box players anymore. All the centers want to be guards. It's like I was talking earlier. It's, just like with Wemby. It's just, yeah, like, play your position, man. Keep the game interesting, because yes, as much as it's a wowing moment when the 7'6" guy makes the three, it's not making the game better. It just makes it seem sillier, is what I mean, for people who really love the game, it's kind of like, it's like I've always said about slam dunks. Yeah, they're fun to watch, but if you can get off the ground and get that high, it's not a big deal. That's why when, like in the slam dunk competitions, even early on, I mean, the first real big guy to ever win it was Larry Nance. Other than that, it's usually the smaller guys who were winning these things. Because, the 7'2" guy, there isn't a whole lot of creativity he can do, and even when he does it, it looks kind of awkward because he's so huge. Where, like watching Spud Webb slam dunks, that's some little guy doing some unreal stuff. See, now that's something. But that's what I mean. You don't have that anymore. Those type of things don't exist. Your players all want to be, it's why a guy like LeBron, I figure, wants to bring the ball up and beat a point. Because, see, on NT, when you're watching on NBC or whatever, that camera is on whoever has the ball. If I'm playing in the box, the only time that I'm on camera is if the ball's on my side of the court or I actually have it in my hand. Other than that, it's wherever the point guard is. So, yeah, if I'm not in the picture, see, and I think that's a lot of what the NBA is, too. That's why everybody wants to dribble the ball. Everybody wants, because, yeah, if I'm playing low in the box, the camera, I'm not in the photo, the game was on for 2 hours, but I was only in it for 5 minutes, and I'm sure these guys think about that. In today's world, the way that it is, yeah, I'm sure that is something these athletes think about. If the game took 2 hours, how much of that 2 hours was I on screen? Away from the TV commercials, how much was I on screen? And even in the TV commercials, how many TV commercials was I in? How many, because most of these guys make TV commercials, so how many of my commercials did you show? I mean, is anyone tired of the Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley, Samuel Jackson commercials yet? I mean, they were cute at first, but it's almost like Tracy Morgan. I mean, it runs its course, man. Even though it is fun when Jennifer Gardner's in it. But anyway, but I was just wanting to talk about that. I thought it was weird seeing that. But that's my thought, because, yeah, I really don't even watch the finals anymore. It's just, like I say, I think the last finals I really watched was when Curry won it, against Boston. I mean, that was really his moment. I mean, yeah, he's had lots of moments beforehand, but that was his moment. That was yes, he was part of all the other championships, but like the 2017 one, that was all Durant. That when they got Durant, you knew they were winning the championship easy that year, and they did. And you know, but yeah, him when they beat Boston, that was about Curry, and that was really the last finals I've watched. Uh, I record them, but as far as really watching them, the last one I really watched a lot is the Denver one. The only sad thing about that is, you know, I kind of felt sometimes you wonder if they drag things on for the money. Because I thought Denver should have won that a lot easier. The Jimmy Butler Miami team was kind of. I looked at it as that was a team that was in sorts where the other team had their stuff all down. I mean, some of the games that Denver lost, that was them. Uh, but yeah, that's really. I think that's the last one I actually recorded. That was what 2023, I think. But anyway, what can you do?